Dylan, is this how you wear it?
It's how we should wear them, probably.
Oh, we don't need this. Oh, we're on the air. Oh, hey guys. It's me, Brad, with Dylan. Hey, darling, stop laughing at me. I saw you. Nothing from the peanut gallery over there. Okay, welcome in, guys. It's the DJ Preps football preview show for September the 23rd, 2020. Again, Brad Locke, Dylan Barnes, John Luke McCord behind the camera. John Pitts just off camera, ready to drop some pithy commentary or whatever, if needed. So what we're going to do is what we've done every week. We're going to look at 3 big games to watch this week in the Daily Journal coverage area. But before we do that, we need to say thank you to Pizza Doctor, our fine sponsor. You can find them here in Tupelo over at Midtown Point. And today we've got chicken fajita pizza. And, well, this is the sausage, but that chicken fajita, I think it's half gone already. We had some vultures over here digging into it. So yeah, thank you to Pizza Doctor. Good stuff. Also need to go over last week's predictions. I'd like to just skip this part today, but we can't. Because I went 1-2 last week. Dylan went 3-0. Yeah. So that makes me 3-6 on the season. He's 5-4. So I got some work to do, guys. I got to catch up. I got a reputation to uphold. Okay. All right. Let's get into these 3 games to watch. First one is MRA, that's Madison Ridgeland Academy, at Corinth. MRA is 5-0. Corinth is 2-1. MRA is the defending state champ in MAIS Class 6A. Corinth, of course, the defending 4A champ in MHSAA. So 2 state champs going at it. And MRA, I mean, yeah, it's a private school, MAIS, but these guys are legit, okay? This is going to be a game. And no, they didn't schedule this till just like last week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was like last Friday, I think.
Yeah, so because Corinth wanted an opponent because it's homecoming this week, which they were going to have with or without a game apparently. So let's look at the 3 keys to the game. Key number 1, Bronner Krajine, the sophomore quarterback for Corinth, versus MRA's defense, which is allowing just 10.8 points per game. So again, these guys are good. Okay,
yeah,
and now Bronner, first-year starter at quarterback. He's been solid so far, and Coach Todd Lowry really loves his potential. But you know, and he's faced some good teams. He faced Olive Branch. Mm-hmm. They lost by 1. That's a good 6A team, and so he's going to have another big test against MRA. And if he can kind of, you know, keep his composure when he has to throw, make good decisions, and then let Caden Betts and the running backs do their thing. Right. Key number 2, can Corinth finish strong? I mentioned that loss to Olive Branch by 1 point. They've had a lot of close losses the last 2 seasons, 3 seasons. Maybe it's just coincidence, but they've had trouble finishing off some games, all against really good opponents, mind you. But going back to 2018, they've lost 5 games since the start of the 2018 season, which is impressive, only 5 losses. But those 5 losses have come by a total of 13 points. So they've gotten beat in the fourth quarter a few times against really good competition, and MRA is going to be some good competition.
Right.
Okay. Got anything to add, Dylan? You've seen Corinth play. I haven't yet.
I think to your first point with Bronner there, I saw Corinth last week against Kossuth, and he was like really efficient. He was like 13 of 16, 13, 17, somewhere in that range.
Mm-hmm.
They kind of threw it a little bit, and probably a little more than what you're used to with Corinth. You know, especially when you have over 400 yards on the ground like they did last week. They kind of were pretty balanced, and Coach Todd Lowry, he mentioned it. He's like, you know, you look at him just in his 3rd start last week ever, and he was in the face of pressure, stepping up, making good throws, no interceptions, was able to evade pressure. I don't think he was sacked all night long, and that's a testament to the offensive line as well too. But you know, he was making quick decisions, getting the ball out of his hands. He's going to have to do that because MRA has a middle linebacker named Stone Blanton, and he's a Mississippi State baseball commit, but he's also got D1 offers from Ole Miss, Mississippi State, and others in football too now. And he's really putting on a show. So they're going to send him a lot on blitzes, and MRA is going to present a challenge. But I think, you know, Bronner is definitely a big key to this game for sure.
His first name is Stone?
Stone Blanton. It's really good name.
It's a scary sounding name. It's a good name for a middle linebacker.
Right.
Definitely. And then key number 3, Corinth's secret weapon, pregame meal at Jack's.
Yeah.
I don't know actually if they eat at Jack's for their pregame meal, but they should.
They absolutely should.
Love me some Jack's.
I do too.
It's almost as good as this pizza from our sponsor, Pizza Doctor. Okay. Prediction time. I don't know, man. You go first because I got no idea.
Man, this is so tough. Like you mentioned, they're both state championship level teams. They both are favored in their classifications right now that going, for this 2020 season. And it's homecoming, so Corinth's going to come out with some deal. But I just think MRA has just so much talent. Even as a private school, they are just loaded in every position. And I still think it's going to be very close. I think MRA pulls out a 28-21 win.
You know what? Todd Lowry's going to hate both of us because I'm also going with MRA. I'll say 31-28. Another close game for Corinth. Okay. Game number 2, Hernando at Tupelo. A couple of 1 and 2 teams opening Division I 6A play, and I think it should be a pretty good game. Don't know a whole lot about Hernando, although I do know a little something about their quarterback. We'll get to him in a moment. But keys to the game. Key number 1 for Tupelo, they got to get healthy, and they're expected to get a lot of guys back. They were missing 4 starters last week due to injury, and they lost another one during the game, an offensive lineman. So Jacarius Clayton and Romero Hampton, 2 defensive linemen, they hope to have back. Dalton Hughes, big-time linebacker, they hope to have back. And Gentry Turner, an offensive lineman, should return as well. So if they can get those guys back, that'll have them at pretty much full strength, which you need in division play. So that's a big key for Tupelo. Key number 2, okay, Hernando's quarterback, Zach Wilkie, versus the Tupelo secondary. Zach is off to a really good start this year. He carved up New Albany last week, had 6 touchdown passes, which, I know New Albany's had their struggles on defense, but that's still impressive. And Tupelo, pretty strong against the pass so far. I mean, they haven't really faced a team that's particularly strong in the passing game, but they're only allowing 103 yards through the air to this point. And I think I like some of the defensive backs they've got. And so I think that'll be a huge key in how this game goes. And then key number 3, I mentioned Dalton Hughes a while ago. Could Dalton Hughes beat up his sister?
Wow.
Wow, yeah. Y'all know who his sister is, right? Taylor Hughes. Used to play soccer a lot, volleyball, and she was a kicker for Pontotoc's football team, and quite a good one, too.
Yeah.
Yeah. And and then she was Miss Tupelo, and she's almost as tall as Dalton. He's 6'4", she's probably 6'2".
Yeah, she's in that range. She's
I mean,
tall.
I'm just saying, if they got in a tangle,
she's tough. She's overcame some physical
major,
ailments
some
too
major
and stuff.
health issues,
Yeah, like she's tough both mentally and physically. So hey, who knows? I don't know.
I'm just saying. I mean, if you get beat up by your sister, I mean, hey, I used to get beat up by my sister all the time, so it's no shame in that.
And you've turned out great.
Yeah, look at me. Shut up. Prediction time. I think Tupelo get these guys back and coming off a much-needed win last week against West Lauderdale. They're at home. I think they'll pull this one out. I will say 28-23.
I hadn't even really given this game much thought. We mentioned the quarterback and like you mentioned, West Point and West Lauderdale and who's the second?
Neshoba
Central. They're riding Hunter all the way. They're so they haven't been tested through the air and they are, and so I guess it's tough to make a prediction not knowing what they face. But I hate to agree with you, but I'm going to agree with you this week, and I think Tupelo just getting that win last week, getting back healthy. That's a lot of starters, a lot of good players that you mentioned that's been out for the last couple weeks and stuff. So I think Tupelo wins in a close one. I think they win at 35-28. Okay.
Yeah, that Wilkie kid's got a good arm. I've seen some tape on him. All right, third game to watch this week. Oh, this is always a big one. Big Division I 5A opener. Lafayette at West Point. Both teams 2-1. West Point, our number 2 ranked large school. Always a good game. They played 4 times over the last 2 years. Keys to the game. Key number 1, Lafayette has to finish. Okay, in those 4 meetings over the last 2 years, 2 in the regular season, 2 in the playoffs, West Point has won them all, but not by a whole lot. Okay, I mean, they're all been 7 points or less, I believe. And in those 4 games, Lafayette has scored 0 points in the fourth quarter. have not scored in the fourth quarter against West Point the last 4 matchups. And 58 of their 71 points were scored in the first half. So they start well sometimes, got to finish well. But that West Point defense, man, it seems like it gets better as the game goes on, no matter who they play. So that's a big key there for Lafayette. And West Point, for them, they're facing a front seven in Lafayette that's recorded 16 tackles for loss and 9 sacks in just 3 games. I mean, they got some really good players up front with DQ Watkins and Derek Burgess. You got Mario Wilburn at linebacker. He's a tackling machine. So you got some D1 talent on that front seven. And, they're going to test West Point's offensive line, which is a good offensive line, mind you, but should be a great battle right there. And then key number 3, which program has more wins all time? Cheater. John Luke, which program has more wins all time?
I'm going to say Lafayette since you're asking the question.
Nope. At least not according to, what's the name of the website? AHSFHS.com. It's a great website. Mm-hmm. Now, these records are not quite complete, especially when you get back to like the, pre-World War II. But the numbers they have West Point with 600 wins all time, Lafayette with 428. Now, West Point's been around a lot longer as a school. That has something to do with it. But also 11 state championships.
Yeah.
You win a lot of games doing that.
Right.
So, not that really makes a difference tomorrow, Friday, but I thought it was interesting. Mm-hmm. All right, prediction time. Here we go. What you got, Dylan? No, wait. It's my turn to go first. I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm going to break my rule about picking against West Point. I'm going to regret it. I already know this. But, maybe I make up some ground to you on you for Lafayette, because I know you're going to pick West Point. So if Lafayette can pull the upset, I'll say Lafayette 17-16.
Ooh, that's pretty good. We've mentioned it a couple times over the past couple weeks on this show that it's hard to pick against West Point. I don't think we have. I think you're the first person this year to pick against them. So,
I think so.
I was looking at this and I was thinking about this matchup this week, and I was thinking, I might pick Lafayette. I might be spicy and try to mix it up, and because it paid off last week. I mixed up a little bit and went 3-0. So, but I think either way, this game is going to be one really, really good game, and I think, like you mentioned, Lafayette's front seven is going to be able to contain a little bit, and West Point just hasn't shown the ability just to throw the ball all over the place. Not that they really want to,
right?
But I just think they're just so talented and so good, and you mentioned the second half adjustments and stuff, and I think that's what's going to come back. But I think it's so close, and I think West Point pulls out a 21-18 win.
Okay, there you go. Those are your 3 games to watch. Now let's close out the program with the Double Treble Award. Still searching for a better name. Nobody suggested anything. Thanks a lot, viewers. No. This week it goes to Thomas Clayton and Jalen Artberry of Calhoun City in a 40-21 win over Water Valley. Clayton had to step in as quarterback because the starter was hurt, Jackson Lee. But he's played it before, and he was 8 of 9 passing, 115 yards and a touchdown, and he rushed for 83 yards on 13 carries. Artberry, the running back, had 26 carries for 201 yards, career high, and 2 touchdowns in that win over Water Valley. So congrats to those guys. By the way, I had a story on Thomas Clayton and the Wildcats in the Wednesday Journal. Check it out. Mm-hmm. And you need to go to djournal.com or pick up a copy of the Daily Journal to read all our high school coverage. We have a podcast that we're going to record here in just a bit. It's called Prep Rally. Find it in iTunes, any of your podcast apps, or online at preprally.djournal.com. Be sure to follow us on Twitter at djournalpreps. I'm on there at Brad Locke. He's on there at Dylan Barnes DJ. And that's it. Yep. We're done. Don't turn it off yet. Remember I used to have those index cards? Yeah, I don't do that anymore, so bye. Nailed it.